Today's show covers dreams dealing with negative spirits and spaces and how a dream shows what to do about it. Welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast with Michael and Sandy.
Hello, welcome everybody.
This is another half hour of us eavesdropping on the very personal communication between the spirit world and souls on their journey, because that's what you are. You are a person with a soul whose soul is on a journey on the earth plane and whose higher self is sending dreams to it to tell it how much in alignment it is or is not with what the life purpose is. And of course, you're along for the ride. And often it's up to you to make changes in your life so that you get more into alignment with what your life purpose is. And that's what we do in the show. We look at your dreams. We tell you what you need to do, what your amazing abilities are, what your full potential is, and the bumps in life that are holding you back. That's all listed in your dreams. But we say this all the time. The bumps in life are not in the way. They are the way. They're meant to be the catalyst for your growth. If you want your dream analyzed on our show, go to dream-analysis.com/podcast, fill in the form that's there, or simply email radioshow@dream-analysis.com, and we take it from there. April is answering all the dreams that we get in, and we have April on the show each week now to cover one of the dreams that she got, but she answers way, way, way more than that. All right, Sandy, have you anything?
Yeah, I'm real excited because we are starting our next Dream Trackers Guide, which is our healing course. It's a course that you've been running for a long time, and I know April will probably mention it in her segment, but I wanted to get to it first. So you want to add a little detail there, Michael?
Yeah, we've been running this for 33 years. That's how popular it is. People look for it all the time. If you want to go deep, working on yourself, healing issues from childhood that hold you back. Now, you don't need to know that they're issues from childhood. You just need to know, hey, there's more to life. There's something holding me back. I don't know what it is. We take it from there because we look at your dreams. We figure out from your dreams what the issues are. We mix dream work with channeling, so we know what it is, with regression, so you can see what it is because you're regressed to the issues. And then a process called cutting the ties that bind, which is the world's worst named process, because it's really just about removing negative influence of a particular person, place, or event. And we use all of that in combination over a number of weeks. We don't know how many weeks it's going to be. It can be from 7 to 12 or even more in some people's cases. But you're transformed by the end of this course. It's very white glove. There's a group meeting every single week. And there's also a one-to-one meeting. You're working one-to-one with a person who's looking at your dreams, helping you work your way through this process. Absolutely amazing. By the end of that period of time, you're probably going to have 50 of your dreams analyzed. You're going to know what all your gifts are because they're going to show up in your dreams. You're going to know what your life purpose is because that's going to show up in your dreams. And you're going to be changed. You're going to see where the issues in your life come from, where they originate. It's always interesting because we think, no, my problem today is this. And dreams say, yes, you have a problem today. It manifests today in this particular way, but it actually comes from this other earlier issue. And the earlier issue could be something earlier in this lifetime or a former lifetime, or just something you brought with you from the spirit world because you're like, hey, I think I need to finally knock this one on the head and deal with this particular issue. And that's what the earth plane is about. It's about healing our issues. So that course is specifically focused on healing the issues while you're on this healing planet. There's nothing that can't be healed. And we call it the Dream Trackers Guide because that's it was me basically thinking, okay, I'm going to show you what your dreams are saying to do, and then you're going to do it. People do not like the name. Sandy's calling it a healing course. It is a healing course, but you're transformed by the end of this. If you want more details on that, you can look at the link under this show. We will have it there, or go to dream-analysis.com/heal, and that's going to bring you to details about that course.
Yeah, and it starts really soon, like this week. It's, what is it, September 5th, the Thursday?
It is. We don't normally promote it on this show. I mean, we've talked about it before, but we promote it through other channels. We're just telling you about it. We've already got plenty of people registered in the course. It's definitely going ahead. And you get to know the people, the community, when you join it. But yeah, September 5th, 9 a.m. Pacific time for 7 weeks. And then the private session continues on. You pick the time for that from the coach's calendar. And that's going to go on for as long as it takes. So you'll know when you're done because you'll feel changed. Your guides will say you're changed. Your dreams will show you're changed. A lot of things converge, and you just know that the needle in your life has moved.
Yeah, it's really spectacular. But anyways, Michael, let's do what we came here to do. Our next stream is a very interesting title. It's kind of long, so I'm going to break it apart. Uh, it's titled Bugs, Nefarious Boyfriends, Sailors Walking Home, New Friends, and Author Crush. And it's from Tiffany. What a title, Tiffany. I'm watching things unfold for an Asian girl that I am somehow also the Asian girl at times. Sometimes I'm floating above, and other times I'm in her body. She's at a restaurant. She or her friends work there. One is a guy who reminds me of Jax from a reality show, Vanderpump Rules. Jax and his girlfriend work at the restaurant. We are talking in the back. He says, I'm trying to figure out what to do next. All I do all day is sling drinks. I like that. I say something about him going to anger management classes. That happened to Jax on the show. He smiles. His girlfriend comes up and there's food by us that some bugs start flying around. I think the food has pickles. They're picking on pickles, Michael. The
They're right.
girlfriend
They're
says,
right.
no. Tiffany, these bugs look like small flying beetles, but with tiny, sharp beaks that look like they can pick you. Ooh, scary. They're flying by her head and are hovering at her neck like they're aiming to sting her. She's holding her head very still. I guess she's telling me because I can control them or something. I swat the air and they fly away. Okay, Michael. Ooh.
So I said at the start, we're talking about how dreams depict negative energy and entities in your space. This is it. The bugs in this space, it's like her home has these negative entities in it. She needs to do something to clear it. And they're not really there for her. They just happen to be there. But if you're in that space and you open up, or as is pointed out in the dream, if you get angry, then that's like opening the door. So they're in the space around you. If you get angry or have any dark, strong emotions, then you're opening the door to let them into your body, let's say. And so she's aware of this in the dream and realizes that she also has the power to deal with them, to get rid of them. And she swats the air and they fly away. So I like that part. And we can go kind of fast through this dream, Sandy, because it is long,
Okay.
but also
Okay.
To keep it light. But if you have questions, go ahead.
All righty. I don't like the tiny sharp beaks. I don't like the fact they're beetles. That's probably, it's kind of gross. Anyways, we're moving on, Michael. Then I see a salad and we see a similar bug in the salad and we're picking them out. Oh, Michael. Okay.
Yeah, right.
More?
So this says, because of the space that she's in, she needs to bless her food. That's all it is. Do something that eliminates the bugs or the entities or the energy from them, from your food. And this is a habit that a lot of people are aware of, like saying grace before a meal, asking the angels or God to bless your meals. Just do that. That's all you need to do. I mean, there are other things in the dream. We know she has a healing ability because we see the sling in the drinks. Serving food or drinks is a healing ability. There's many other things. Also, the title is longer than some dreams that we do on the show. But but I like it because the next piece is very clear about, well, okay, what if things go really dark? What do you do?
And then the anger management classes, which is, I guess, what he had to do on the show. Is that because it was part of the show or is there something there?
Oh, yeah, there's definitely something there. If you're in a space where there's negative entities around, you can't afford to let yourself get angry. Because if you get angry, you then become vulnerable.
Yes. Oh, very interesting. Okay, let's continue. Then I walk into an office building to visit my boyfriend. It feels like a medical building. There's a security guard inside the building, but in front of the entrance to the office. He checks my ID and lets me in. The office is all windows. I walk inside and my boyfriend waves me over. I'm following him, and a man who works there says to me, "Love seeing you in political colors." I laugh and say, I wanted to try it out. My boyfriend leads me into a private room, and there's a guy following him. I walk in first, and it's dark in there, and there's a single window facing the office waiting room. I immediately feel uneasy. I say, do not close those blinds. So the boyfriend and the guy walk into the dark corner of the room. I can't see what they're doing, but I hear a psst, like a gasket opening. I think my boyfriend put a mask on the guy and is doing something nefarious. Ooh. I immediately run out of the room and yell for help. A woman appears. She looks like a naval officer from the olden days. She walks up to me, and the boyfriend is now by me. The scene changes, and we're outdoors now. It's bright and sunny here with blue skies. There's soldiers walking. They're all wearing blue and white sailor outfits and look freshly cleaned up. For as far as I can see into the horizon, I see these sailors walking. They're walking home. The woman officer says to my boyfriend, talking like she's from the olden days, come on, old boy, it's time to come home. All right, Michael, that is scary. Let's see what you have to say. I consider this a nightmare dream.
So this part's really good. Look how this paragraph even ends. So I go into an office building to visit my boyfriend. It's nobody she knows in reality. She's married. She doesn't know this guy. But then we have a security guard inside the building, and he checks her ID. So this is reminding her that because she channels, if you're channeling and you're in a space and there's entities and other negative spirits around, you need to validate who you're talking to. And so this is pretty straightforward. A lot of people have questions that they will ask, like, okay, I have 3 questions that I know the answer to, and my guides and my team will know the answer to. But the other thing you can do is you can ask your higher self, because that connection can't be swamped or damaged. So you can ask your higher self, when you create your connection, you can say, hey, I think I'm talking to this particular angel that I always talk to. Is that true? Is that who's answering me? And your higher self will say, no, it's not. So you generally will say, higher self only, am I talking to, let's say there's a name, and your higher self will answer yes or no. And that's all you need to do. Check and validate who you're talking to against somebody who you know and trust that you can already talk to in the spirit world, because of who's around. Good. It's just good general hygiene. So this dream is all about energy hygiene, and that's why I like it. But I like this solution. So she goes into the office. So this is in her mind, and then we see the boyfriend and this other darker person following him ends up in a dark room, and she gets kind of scared. But she doesn't lose her connection with the light. She's like, "Don't shut that blind." And as soon as she feels uncomfortable, she's out of there and says, "Help." And then who shows up? I love this part, because this naval officer, olden days naval officer, she shows up and she takes care of it for her. So this is saying to her, look, if you want to clear all these thugs from your space, just call on me and I will, with love and care and attention, help them move on. And so I love how this guy does it. She's like, come on, old boy, it's time to come home. Now, this is somebody with the might of the Navy behind them being kind to you. So it's like, I don't have to be kind. And you're coming either way, but I will be kind because that's my nature. And so it's a huge level of authority that shows up. And it's important for her to understand the level of authority that shows up, because you can't just say, hey, please, with kid gloves, please remove all the negative spirits here. You have to say, with maximum force necessary, please move the negative spirits that are in this space. You give permission at the outset for whatever they need to do in order to clear the space. If you just say, well, do it the easiest way you can, and then they start doing that and they hit a problem, they have to say, well, you didn't give us permission to go deep, so we have to leave. That's the code. That's the earth code. We talk about this on many other shows. So you give the top level of authority, but there's still a limit, because you're saying the maximum force necessary. And so you're just giving these angels who have this authority permission to use it, should they need to use it. But it's great, because now she has the solution to keep her space clear. And Sandy, I volunteered you. I said, next time she clears her space, she's going to text me and I'm going to check with you, is her space clear? Because once she knows she can do it, then she knows she can do it. And that's great. I love it. Do you not love this dream?
This part that was kind of scary at the beginning, walking into a dark room with dark guys, and oh, anyways, the wearing
But
the blue
she's
and white.
already in that dark space because she's not aware that her house is infested. Well,
Oh
actually, she
yeah,
was kind of aware.
yeah. And then the wearing the blue and white sailor outfit. What's up with blue and
So,
white?
blue and white is a really good color combination. It's about having a positive philosophy of life with regard to this. And look at the amount of authority and defenses that are there. The spirit world is represented by the ocean. The navy would be the best spirit world defense because it's defense on the oceans, right? And so it's like for as far as the eye can see, there is support for you to get rid of anything that's in your space.
Wow, that's so cool. I like the way you turned that around. Okay, let's continue on. There's still more to this dream. I'm back in the office and leave. I need new girlfriends. I see three girls, all who are weirdly tall and big. I walk up to them and we become instant friends. We take a photo together, then start walking. One of the girls gestures to where a few guys are standing, one of which looks like he has a spotlight on him. And she says, "You should go for Schroeder." I said, "Who's that?" She said, "Oh, you haven't read his book? I'm in love with him after I did." She's holding a book, flipping the pages. Then she says, "That's his son, but I'm talking about his dad." She's saying I should go for the son, but she's in love with the dad after reading his book. I laugh and say, "I've had that happen before. You read a book and fall in love with the author. Nothing like falling for a 60-year-old." All righty, Michael.
Yeah, that
60's not that
no,
old.
no, that last part's an insult. I think we should rip up this dream now. Yeah, so this it continues on and says, look, you need to get in touch with your feminine side. And she's had other dreams about that, letting like getting into the flow of feminine energy. And so the new girlfriends represent a strengthened connection or rekindled connection with her own feminine energy. And this is going to put a spotlight on a particular person in her future. So the dream is saying connect with your feminine energy because that is going to connect you with a person that is super important in your life. You're going to become passionate, or your passion will lead you to this person, and this person holds a knowledge or holds information that is really going to be beneficial to you, as well as the connection with that person. I like the spotlight because the spotlight is another symbol for feminine energy, for intuition, a light in the dark. Here it's not even dark, but it's like, hey, this one, that's how our intuition works. Like you go into a room and there's 20 people there, and it's like this one is pointed out to you by your intuition. So it's a shift, but with the whole first part of the dream, you could say is all a different dream, and this is almost like a new dream. But it's saying clear the space, clear your energy, be aware of energetic hygiene, get in touch with your intuition, and this is where it's going to take you. And that's what it's meant to be for all of us. But most of us don't do this, but do all this amount of work, and then it's going to lead you to this.
Okay, so we've got his son. Is son a pun on the sun in the sky?
I don't think so. I mean, it could be. We know she's a healer because we saw the sling of the drinks and so on earlier on. But she's also working on masculine energy. In fact, another dream that she's given us is all about that. And it's quite an interesting one. So we're going to cover it, if not on this show, on another show. So the introduction to the sun is an introduction to the masculine energy that she has disconnected from. But definitely in this case, when I channeled on it, they said, your intuition is going to lead you to a person. There's definitely a person that is going to become super important for you in your life. But all these other things have to happen before you get and make this connection.
All righty, let's continue on, Michael. We giggle. Then I, slash Asian girl, go to a shop. She, slash Asian girl, is pointing to purses and looking at little shaken at first. She walks over and I see a phone notification flashing on her phone from a bank. She says, "The bank won't give me my money." What type of bank is that? She's looking at two leather purses.
So she's in a channeling group, and she's an amazing channel herself. She's really, really good. But there's another person in the group that she feels is like an absolute genius. And when she's in the same group as that person, it puts her off. It's kind of like, oh, I don't want to channel. I want them to go first because they're better and all that sort of stuff. So it's just pointing out her diminishing her own channeling ability. That's really what this is about. And the purses, these are handbags. I got clarification on that. So it's about responsibility, and it's two of them. So we talked about twos before, all being about channels. So it's her channeling responsibilities. She's meant to develop this. But when she's in some spaces, she holds herself back. It's not that the bank is holding her money, but she's holding herself back because of how she feels about other people in the space, and feeling, I don't know what it would be, like feeling like the student, and I don't think I should channel in this space.
Very interesting. What an interesting dream, how it transforms from telling you've got these things you got to watch out for in your house and you can't get angry, to now you're getting more in balance with your feminine and your masculine. And then don't put yourself down when you channel. That's quite an interesting dream.
I love it because it's so, here's the issue, here's the solution, all the way through. Like, it just knocks it out of the park. It's not like trying to scare you. It's like, yeah, here's the horror movie part, but here's the solution. And here's another horror movie part, and here's the solution. And when you become aware of your own energy and your own energy hygiene and keep yourself clear, it's going to lead you to great places.
Alrighty, now it's time for April to join us in the studio.
Thanks, Sandy. And thanks to everyone for sending in dreams to the radio show. This week, I am choosing a dream by someone who I will call David. The dream did not have a title, so if you send in a dream to the radio show, do please give it a title. That helps with the interpretation just a little bit. I'm going to call this dream Mary's Coming. So this dream from David starts off like this. He says, I'm standing on a precipice overlooking the ocean. It's a clear day, and I can see all the way to the horizon. I see what appears to be a structure that floats just above the water, and I can watch as it approaches. There are people standing on the structure. It's like a wooden raft that transported them from there. It doesn't touch the water, but hovers above it. The people begin to walk from the device up to the area where I am. I find myself standing in a row of people waiting for this entourage to walk past us. Mary, the mother of Jesus, is among the group. And when she comes to where I'm standing, she stops and turns toward me. And she looks at me and says, I can't believe after all these years, you still have that. And she points behind me. I turn to look, and there's a golden teddy bear sitting there. It was as if time stood still, no thoughts, just a feeling of surprise, calm, and peace. I turned back toward her and the entourage of people, and they were walking on and walked up some steps and through a doorway. He gave a note with this dream. He said, I was not raised Catholic, and Mary did not play a major role in the structure of my childhood church. Okay, so this is a spiritual dream because immediately we see the ocean and something's on the horizon. So what you see on the horizon is a structure, a different structure coming your way or coming our way. And the new structure is hovering. It's not quite in the water, but it's on its way. It's like it hasn't really landed yet, but it's on its way. It's on its way to you. It's on its way to us. So you're waiting with others for what's to come. And then you see Mary, the mother of Jesus, walk by. So this is a feminine energy structure that's coming in. And it doesn't matter that you were not raised with Mother Mary playing a role in the structure of your childhood. She still represents this new energy that's coming in. It's a feminine energy. It's Christ consciousness energy, because she literally brought in Christ consciousness, right? She birthed Jesus. So this Christ consciousness is based in love and compassion and community. And she also represents spiritual leadership in the dream. And you are literally in the dream simply watching the feminine energy structure arrive. That's pretty cool. So we also know that everything in the dream is you. So you have the gift of spiritual leadership, because that's what Mary can represent too. This gift works through having an open and compassionate and a non-judgmental heart. And it's put into action when you empower and inspire other people to face and overcome their own challenges. You don't, walk with them, but you inspire and empower them. And then they can do it on their own once they've seen your example or your instruction or whatever. It's a pretty cool gift. So this new feminine energy structure is on its way. You're one of the people who is assisting and bringing it in more fully. And the teddy bear, she points behind you and says, "I can't believe you still have this thing." And she points to the teddy bear. The teddy bear, when I channel on it, is showing up as something that you loved dearly. And it's like, with that love comes a sense of hope and comfort that you can tap into from within. I just sensed you just holding onto this teddy bear and just feeling so much like love and comfort. So that's what this represents. And when you turn back to the bear, the thoughts stopped and you just, you felt that calm and peace. So this is a state from childhood that you didn't completely lose. Some people, lose connection to that stuff, and you've still held on to it. So spiritual leadership works from this heart-centered space, and that's why Mary is pointing it out to you. It's like she's there with you in the dream because you still have the teddy bear. You still have this heart connection. And you also have a healing gift because we see that it's a golden teddy bear, and gold represents healing. So you're going to be bringing healing to others. And these gifts are going to work together when you are inspiring and empowering people. And then we see people walking through up some stairs and through a doorway, which means that you need to create opportunities to help other people with these gifts. And they're walking up, so they're activating more of their spiritual aspects. You're going to inspire and empower people to do that for themselves. So you're here to help the new structure that's coming in by engaging people with your open and compassionate heart. It's a really beautiful dream. You've sent in a couple dreams. Well, I think 3 dreams total that I saw. And all of your dreams are just lovely to read and look at. You've got this wonderful energy in them and several gifts. You even have the gift of channeling that showed up in the other dreams. So thank you so much for sending these in. And I hope that helps. And I'm going to turn it back over to Michael and Sandy. Back to you.
Thanks, April. That's our show for this week. See you next week.
Take care.